Alright, at long last. At long last, I only did a video a fortnight or so ago. In fact, actually, I was here in this flat last time I talked about it, so it's been about over a week probably now. I asked a question in that video, what's the deal with Dubois versus Usyk 2, the undercard? Because we are literally hearing nothing about it. I mean, we're literally hearing about a card in August, a month after this fight. And we're hearing what the undercard is going to be shaping up to be like. Nick Ball versus, Sam Goodman. And obviously Ray Ford versus Kakache. Reportedly going to be headlined. Headlined? Yeah, seriously, headlined. By Dubois, or not by Dubois, by Dylan White versus Moses Atauma. A headline act for such a mismatch, really? Anyway, that's a topic for another video when it gets announced. But the Usyk Dubois card, old habits die hard, what can I say? The Usyk Dubois undercard is taking shape. Lewis Edmondson is going to be on there. He is obviously the British champion at 175 pounds. He's an interesting fighter. But on the undercard now, I shall talk about a fight that's just been announced. It says Okolie will face Kevin Lerena in a heavyweight clash on the undercard of Oleksandr Usyk versus Daniel Dubois at Wembley Stadium on July the 19th. This will be Lawrence Okolie's second fight at heavyweight. It will be his first fight since December. It's an interesting one with Okolie, right? Because I'll talk about this fight in a sec, but Lawrence Okolie was penciled in to fight on the DAZN debut of Queensberry. That was in April, and he was penciled in to fight Richard Riakporhe, and they went to the press conference together, and it was hilarious from Lawrence Okolie, bringing up the fact that, Richard Riakporhe, I ain't saying it's this, but, alluding to the fact that maybe he's into granny bashing, with that decrepit old thing with Donna. So, and it was hilarious. It was just the way he delivered. It was hilarious. So I was looking forward to that fight. Didn't happen. And what's frustrating is that Riakporhe is live. He's game. He's a heavyweight now. That fight would have been interesting at cruiserweight. It would have been very interesting at cruiserweight. It's still interesting at heavyweight. So why haven't they revisited it? I would imagine Riakporhe would have no issue revisiting this fight. Why aren't they doing that? That's just a question I have for the chat. We have Okolie versus Kevin Lerena. Now, Kevin Lerena he stepped up to world level before. I think he fought Gulamarian. I think it might have been Arsene Gulamarian at 200 pounds back at cruiserweight. He lost that fight on point. I think it was him now. Then he started campaigning at heavyweight. Famously fought Daniel Dubois in 2022 in a stadium in the UK as well. Fought him in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on the undercard of Fury Usyk 3. Yes, that was a thing. For those who don't remember, I will never forget that, unfortunately. I won't forget the fight either, because on paper it didn't seem like it would be anything for Dubois, but he was down 3 times in the first round. He rallied back to stop Kevin Lerena viciously in, I think it was round 3 or 4? Was it 5? He did stop Kevin Lerena in the end anyway. He stopped him viciously. So Kevin Lerena then just moves on with his career. Last year, I think it might have been on the undercard of AJ versus Ngannou. I think it might have been that one, or it was certainly one of the cards anyway. What was it? Riyadh show, I know that. He fought Justis Huni, who's obviously coming in off the back of a knockout loss to Fabio Wardley, a fight in which he was winning handily before getting caught. So, and Kevin Lerena, although he lost that fight, right, he didn't win it. He did a much better job in there with Kevin Lerena than Fabio Wardley did. All right, Fabio Wardley won the fight. He won it with a one-punch knockout, fair enough. But Kevin Lerena didn't take anywhere near the beating that Fabio Wardley took. He was game for large parts. He actually won his fair share of rounds. It was a competitive fight. It was a very competitive 10 rounds. It was a 10-rounder. It was very competitive. And he rocked Justis Huni a couple of times in it. So Lerena is... I don't want to call him a gatekeeper, because no, that would be completely unfair. He's better than that. But he is one of those guys that you beat on the way to world level. And if you have any chinks in your armour, one, he'll expose it. Even if he loses, he'll expose it. And he exposed a lot of chinks in Justis Huni's armour. He certainly did. And Daniel Dubois as well, arguably. He'll expose it and, on his day, could beat you. This is going to be an interesting one for Okolie. He's shown a decent chin. Lerena, I know Dubois stopped him, but Dubois, he's only ever gone the distance in terms of victories with one person, and that was obviously Kevin Johnson. So he's a big puncher, as Daniel Dubois, certainly, make no mistake about that. But Lerena normally takes a good shot. Okolie is looking very good. He's hitting very hard at 200 pounds. So this is going to be an interesting fight altogether, I think. And I'm really keen, really looking forward to this fight. Okolie, to his credit, since he's made the transition to jump to heavyweight, not even the heavyweight, it's a bridgerweight really. He fought Rosansky it was last year he fought, I think it was May time last year, he fought Rosansky. Stopped him in a round and he looked good doing it, but Rosansky, I mean, guy beat Alan Babbage in a round. That's nothing to write home about. Johnny Fisher just did he did that last year. So the jury was kind of out on how he'd look at heavyweight. He moved up to heavyweight. I can't remember the guy. I think he was a German fighter. I think he was German based anyway. What was his name? I forget his name. But anyway, Okolie stopped him in a round. And again, he looked good doing it. This was certainly very different than the Okolie we'd seen at cruiserweight, where it was just awful. It was just clinch fests. And it was excessive. It was ridiculous. It really was. At cruiserweight, since he's been a heavyweight, he's got more life about him, quite frankly. He's got a bit more character to him. And his performances, again, against lower level opposition, it has to be said, have looked good. And the reason why I bring that up is you want to look at like someone like a Joseph Parker pre-Andy Lee. He looked very good against opponents he should look good against. But when he stepped up, sometimes he would lose, like against Dylan White and Anthony Joshua, not look good doing it. And then other times he would win against, decent-ish fighters like Carlos Takam, but not look good doing it. So we're looking at Okolie now winning fight that he should be winning and looking aggressive, but we need to wait and see. Maybe Kevin Lerena is that guy who brings out, and I hope he isn't. I hope this is the Okolie we have to stay. But maybe Lerena could be a guy who brings out some of the old Lawrence Okolie. I hope not. And truthfully, I think we do. This new version of Okolie is here to stay. It is still a very strange sight, seeing a man 6'5", 260 pounds, bobbing on his toes like that. It's an unusual sight, but that's kind of how he was at cruiserweight. I guess he's old, as I said in the start of this video when I said Usyk Fury undercard, old habits die hard, and they certainly do. So yeah, I think this is an interesting fight. The undercard is coming together nicely enough. I can't imagine, and obviously with Atelma apparently going to be fighting White in August, you would imagine that he is booted off this card. You would imagine anyway, unless they just want to give him a run out. But even then, you run the risk of just, you're going to knock this guy out in the round, happy days. You hit him, oh, my hand's a bit sore. You kind of wouldn't really want to take that risk, I would imagine. But I can't envision this is going to be I can't imagine it's going to be a mega card in terms of the undercard. But, that's not a bad fight. That's not a bad fight at all. So let's wait and see what Frank Warren does. I've said it before, I'll say it again. He's got the biggest heavyweight stable out of any promoter. Use them. This is the perfect card to use them for. If in doubt, put a heavyweight on. That's been my philosophy for any promoter. If you've got heavyweights, if in doubt, get a heavyweight on there. That's what I got to say on that one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, people, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for dropping by the channel. Hit subscribe, hit like, all of that good stuff. You probably can see the light stand in the background. That arrived today. A lot of equipment arrived today. I got, if we're doing that A&G Man remotely, which we're not doing it this week because that is in Miami, I've got these new headphones for that. I've got a microphone there with a stand, so we're going to be transitioning the mic in. I've got, I have to reach over and grab this. I've got this adapter, which is hopefully going to be going into this iPhone. So if we do A&G Man remotely, it's going to trick the laptop into thinking the iPhone is the camera. I'm not going to pick up the light because the light I have down there is it's bulky as hell, and it's a really good new mic as well. So we're making changes. So we're making changes here. So stay tuned. That's what I got to say on this. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. Until next time, peace.